Hello and welcome to the Arielle Knits YouTube channel. This week we're going to be learning how to fix simple mistakes in your knitting. So here's a scarf I'm working on. I'm doing a knit one, purl one rib to make it. As you can see, there's a couple mistakes. So here I purled when I should have knit. And then right here I knit when I should have purled. And then on the row I'm currently on, I'm off. So I just purled over a knit, and so I'm about to knit over a purl. I caught myself, and now I need to fix all the way back to here where I started messing up. So if you have not already watched the video on how to read your work, I would recommend going and watching that video first, and I'll put a card for it right here. But I would recommend going to watch that video first so that you can actually see your mistakes or see the mistakes that I'm actually fixing. But if you know all of that, let's get started. So what you're going to need for some of these mistakes is it's always handy to have like a crochet hook or a stitch fixer. Stitch fixers are basically just a way for retailers to mark up basic crochet hooks, so I'd just go to the store and get a crochet hook. So I have my crochet hook here, and then we will be using this in a second. But for right now, I'm going to show you how to, sorry, that was rolling everywhere, just knit backwards or tink backwards. So what you're going to do is you're going to hold the yarn in whatever hand you hold your yarn in that you were just working with. And instead of going forward, we're going to go under and pick up this purl. So we're going under into the stitch we just purled, and we're picking up the stitch previous to it. I'm going to hold my yarn in my left hand so that we can both see easier. So I'm going to pick that, and then I'm going to take my right needle out and then pull the yarn out and do that again. So I'm going to go into the stitch below, pull my needle out, go into the stitch below, pull my needle out, move the yarn, take my left hand needle, go into the stitch below, pull my other needle out. And I'm going to do that until I get to where I need to fix something, or until where I started making the mistake. So I think we only need a couple more. And ta-da! And then I now know I'm going to purl there, and I'm not going to make the same mistake. But before I go back and knit that way, let's talk about how we're going to fix this right here. So that's a couple rows down. You could just do what I was doing and do it like back and forth for a couple of rows, working backwards and undoing. Or I'm just going to slide. So I'm just going to tink back or go backwards to this column that it's on, the stitch it's on. Okay, and then I'm gonna do it. It's gonna be scary. I'm gonna drop that stitch. Okay, so now that stitch is dropped, and I'm gonna drop down until I made the mistake. So here's the stitch where I made the mistake, right? I have to drop down till I got here, and then I'm gonna drop this stitch as well. So I'm just gonna pull that out. And now I grab my crochet hook. So since we're on a knit side, I stick the crochet hook and catch that loop, like so. And then I grab this. So when you have something that looks like this on your knitting, we often refer to it as a ladder or a run, right? If it's unintentional. So this ladder, and you can see there's rungs. So this first rung is what we're going to go for. So we're going to take our hook with the stitch on it, and we're going to go under the next rung in our ladder, and we're going to just pull it through, just like that. Then we're going to go to the next rung and we're going to pull it through, and the next rung and pull it through. It's important when you're doing this to make sure that you have the rungs or the yarns in the right order and you're not pulling one from a higher row down and twisting it. So just basically making sure you're not grabbing the second rung before you grab the first rung, right? So now here we are. I'm a continental knitter. If you don't knit like this, that's okay, but I'm going to show you because that's quick and easy for me. So I'm up here, and now we're going to go to where the next mistake is, which you can't see as well on this side, but it's this one right here. See how that's a knit when it should have been a purl? If we turn it on the wrong side, you can see the mistake a lot easier. See, here it is. So I'm gonna knit until I get to that point. Okay, so the next stitch I'm gonna work is the one where the mistake is. So I'm gonna drop it down. Just drop it down. Okay. We're going to do the same thing, but you can't do the exact same thing since this is a purl stitch. You can't do the exact same thing you did with a knit stitch. So if I put my hook in this way and grab, and this is what I was talking about before, you don't want to like grab this second one and do it before you grab this first one. You want to make sure you grab this one, then that one, then that one. But I can't just do the same thing because that just makes a knit stitch. So that wouldn't work. So you can do one of two things. You can try to do it backwards, where you put your hook in from behind, like so, and then grab the next one and pull it through, which is a little bit finicky. Whoops. You can do it this way, I promise. So like that. Or, since the opposite side of a purl is a knit, we can just turn our work around and fix it on the wrong side so that we have the knit stitch, which is easier to work with, which is what I usually do. So we're just gonna pull through, go up to the next ladder, pull through, or rung, and then the final one, and we're gonna pull through and just turn our work back again, stick it onto the left-hand needle, and then just continue with our work. Voila, our mistakes are fixed, and that is how you fix simple mistakes when you're knitting. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful. Next video, in a couple of weeks, will be our knitting my first scarf class. So in that class series, we will just be teaching you how to knit a scarf, your very first scarf. So hope to see you there. Have a nice day and craft your world.